How to Save Money on Your Divorce, Part 3. All right, so we are now on the third part of our series of how to save money on your divorce. So parts 1 and 2 dealt with listening to your attorney. If they've given you information to fill out, like a financial affidavit, do it. They're trying to help you through this process. And then again, listening to your attorney of the advice that they're giving you, so you're not having problems along the way that come up that end up costing your case money. So the third tip is to understand what you're doing, understanding the retaining process. So when you got married, because if you're watching this video and you're trying to save money on your divorce, you've been married, you asked your caterer, how much is it going to be for hors d'oeuvres? How much is it going to be for this? And the videographer, and you had everything set out and you understood what it was going to be. And some people will spend, as we've seen, 20, 30, 50, hundreds of thousands of dollars on weddings. But, when it comes to a divorce, it's like, oh my gosh, I got to pay a retainer. Yeah, it's important. Okay. So, you could have been married for 6 weeks, but now you have a child that, if you're going to be dealing with the other side for 18 years, you want to make sure you're doing the right thing and you're getting good advice and you're making the right decisions. So understand what you're doing and understand this is an investment in your life, in your children's lives, basically that sometimes that can cost money. But there are ways to reduce the cost. So read the retainer agreement. If attorney provides you with a retainer agreement to sign when you're retaining them as counsel, read it, understand it, ask questions about their billing processes, understand it. Because again, I've done 1,000 cases, but I deal with this on a daily basis. This is maybe the only time you ever deal with it. So while something might be second nature to me, for you, it's understanding that you need to get this information. You need to understand it. So ask the attorney, in the process, ask their office, ask their staff, try to get the information so you understand what it's going to look like. Attorneys don't have a crystal ball that they can look into and say, this is exactly how much it will be. We have a fixed fees, option, with our firm. Not everybody has that, but that's something that we do. And that's a different set of videos, but for the most part, most divorce lawyers, especially in Florida, what we're talking about here, Florida divorce and family law, is they deal with putting money into a trust account and hourly billing and billing against that. So it's understanding how that's broken down, understand how their billing procedures work, understanding what's expected of you, what are the next steps of the case. So really trying to get a full grasp that, okay, well, I'm just going to give them some money and then this is all just going to magically disappear. That's not the way it works. The attorney is to help guide you through the process, but you need to have a little bit of an understanding of your case, of the situation, of the scope of representation. And so really making sure that you understand it, that you're asking the questions, up front, even prior to retaining, and making sure you understand it, reading that retainer agreement, asking questions when you don't understand something, understanding about the attorney's billable practices and how they bill. We bill in 6-minute increments, so we've said that before in previous videos. So a lot of, there's some attorneys that bill in 15-minute increments. Some of them bill in 30-minute increments. There's all different forms of it. We do it as 6-minute increments. So, but understanding that, and that's within our retainer agreement, and our hourly rates, are specified in the retainer agreement. Understanding what your attorney is charging you and how it's broken down, how the billing practices, so that way you understand and you're not as surprised, when you get that invoice or the first billing statement, that you're able to look at it and say, okay, well, I understand because I read the retainer agreement, I asked the questions, I understood they don't have a crystal ball. They don't know my spouse. They don't know what's going to exactly come up the next day. Sometimes we're retained and the next day somebody files an emergency motion. So now, the complete trajectory of the case goes like that. So that's not something necessarily that we're sitting there saying, oh, well, yeah, we know that they're going to file an emergency motion tomorrow. So again, it is understanding it and making sure you have the education about the retainer process and the scope of representation, and it'll help you out in the long run of understanding, along the way, because then you'll look at it and you'll say, okay, well, let me hold some of these questions and I'll batch them out. So, rather than, sometimes some clients will want to do it, sending emails every single time something comes to their head, but, for responding to them, then we're billing for it. So sometimes clients will batch together, or they'll ask for a conference and be like, I have a whole list, and they'll have a checklist of numerous questions that they want to ask. And again, that's what we're here for. We're here to help out. So that's one way to do it. Again, you can send emails and, we can answer them, or you can batch them together. Batching it is a more helpful part of way. And that's another, a little tip for, saving money during your divorce process. So this has been our 1, 2, 3 third tip on how to save money on your divorce.